council to order. Please stand and pledge allegiance to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please silence all cellular devices, and council people, please turn on your microphones. We have no special visitors tonight. Oh, I'm sorry, roll call.
Roll call? Okay. Counselor Andrews, Counselor Catalani,
Here.
Counselor Flegel. Here. Counselor Caroli.
Here.
Counselor Rydell.
Here.
Beth Shear is absent, and Counselor Taché,
Here.
and Mayor Miller.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Announcements? Oh, we already did that one, sorry. Special visitors, none scheduled. I'd like to open it up to public comment number one. Please try and limit your comments to 5 minutes. Does not look like we have anybody who wants to comment. Closing public comment period number one. Moving to the consent calendar. The following agenda items will be acted upon in a single motion unless a member of Borough Council wishes a specific item to be voted on separately. Approve the minutes of the February 11th, 2025 Borough Council meeting. Approve payment of all bills listed on January 2024 detailed check listing report.
And that should be 2025.
2025.
I didn't
yes.
catch it. Wow.
It's all right.
And then the next one.
And then approve the treasurer's report, period, January 1 through January 31st, 2025. Do I have a motion?
I just have a few questions before that.
Please.
I noticed that on the first page, or page 2, on the check details,
Thank you.
beyond mail, is that for 6 months? I paid a 50% of the budget on that one already.
That's for the quarterly
Yeah.
newsletter.
Okay. And then one I noticed was to be on page 2, check 15534 to the Municipal Health Insurance Cooperative. On the check cashing, or the check detail says $15,826.31, but in the budget, the financial statement, it says $13,467.80. Budget be 401,156.
Yep. Have to check with the treasurer on that, I'm not sure.
And the last one I have, Pure Water Technology Central P, what did they do for us as a contracted service?
That
Pure Water
is,
Tech.
we used to have, like the water coolers with the 5-gallon jugs. Well, this thing is just tapped into the local water supply and it filters the water from there. So that's a quarterly expense.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, I was wondering, because when I added it up, it was over $400. I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
No,
Okay.
yeah.
That's what I have here.
I have just one question. So I guess we did finally, because we weren't able to get that grant to do the 2 trucks last time. I don't know, I kept tossing and turning about it and wondering if there was any other options that we could do. Or maybe just do the one. I know it's probably, we already did discuss it and kind of finalized it last time, but like I said, sometimes when you're away from it and then you can think about it some more, just with some costs. And also I was looking at some stuff, and would any of these, they're not per se like grants, but they're like the Penvest funding. It's like you take out a loan.
It's a loan.
Right, but it's supposed to help you With one, you wouldn't have to put the burden on the taxpayers. And it gives you like somewhere like a 10-year, 20-year, and it's one of the lowest like interest rates too. And then there's also the PIB too, so I was like looking at those. And a lot of people do use them for like stormwater, bridges, roads, all types of stuff. Instead of putting the burden continually on the taxpayers.
Anthony, 1 second, I don't mean to cut you off, but you're doing
Right.
that, can we do that during?
Right, but I was seeing if we could do that with the cars, with the trucks. Or something.
Yeah, that's down in the report for.
I don't know, sorry, it's just been on my mind. We can go on to that then, later. That's fine.
And if there's nothing else on the consent calendar, I'll move to accept.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Action and discussion items. Road closure request, Palmyra Civic Baseball Opening Day Parade, discussion on, and if appropriate, authorize the closure of the roads necessary for the Palmyra Civic Baseball Association to conduct an open day parade on Saturday, April 5th, 2025 at 9 a.m. utilizing the following parade route. Beginning at Forge Road Elementary School, proceeding south on South Prince Street, turning east onto East Cypher Street, turning south onto South Duke Street, turning east onto East Elm Street, turning south onto Sandalwood Drive, turning north onto Colonial Road, turning west onto Sycamore Lane, turning west onto East Elm Street, turning north onto South Duke Street, and finishing at the Forge Elementary School baseball fields.
Motion.
Second?
All those,
Who's chief?
whatever year, it's fine. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Reports, the president's report, the president's not here tonight. We'll move on to the mayor.
Hello, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well. I've had a lot of conversations again with the folks in town, and I've always been amazed by what they comment to say that they recognize our town and certainly recognize that there are some areas that is looking a little rough, and they want us to continue to make our town better. So that's what I have, just actually talking with people at different places within the town. So, with that, that's all I wanted to let you know. There's a lot of folks that have an interest in a good town. And I certainly am looking forward to having a great town as we continue to move in the right direction. That's it. Anybody have any questions?
The financial report. The financial statement as of January 31, 2025. Questions, comments?
I did have, Roger, I noticed in the check deed, we transferred a lot from the sewer to refuge, but it's not in the refuge section of the financial report.
I don't know, how do we show, we don't show that, do we?
What's that?
All the money comes into the sewer, then we have to transfer it to refuse.
Yes.
But we don't show that anywhere, I don't think, do we?
No, the only thing that you would see is that the balances are different. I mean, everything we take in for sewer and refuse gets placed in the sewer account.
Right.
And then we pull out the 49%, which is the refuse, and transfer it into. So you'll see that.
Right, I just didn't see a line, I'm used to seeing, I didn't see the line that says transferred from.
No, it would be in.
No.
It
So
would,
the other one says
Where it
transferred from
goes,
general fund.
it'll go into the 301, 300.
Okay,
Yes, that's, Hey, that's off the top of my head, after a long day, let me tell you. Let's see here. Goes to. Is it, I'm sorry, 364, 300.
yeah.
When we transfer it from the sewer into the refuse, it goes into the 364, 300,
okay,
okay?
cool, thank you.
All right, fire department, there was a fire services commission meeting Wednesday, February 5th at the firehouse. Nothing to report at this point. We're meeting with other fire departments to see what we can do to come together and cut costs or provide the best fire service we can. library report.
You got it tonight. Because I only emailed it last night, sorry.
Police report.
Unless you guys have questions.
Rec commission.
The meeting was last Wednesday, so you will probably have it right before, probably in like 2 weeks, you'll have the report. And just so everybody is aware, the rec director is having hip replacement surgery in March. So if the reports are a little late, you'll understand why.
All right, I don't see any solicitors report.
Nope.
Could I have one question about the library? Because someone actually said something to me about the library, and I don't quite remember, and it might be good if you could just give a quick explanation of why it wasn't located in town here, but it was moved out there. There was a reason for that, but I can't remember it. And if it's too long of a thing, don't bring it up, but if it's short and you can tell us.
It's a long thing.
Yeah.
It
Just say,
originally
we'll
was
just say
the-
she no longer is the
Yes.
director.
Okay, then don't worry about it, but just say that there was reasons
That's
why it happened.
very, very concise,
We have a new director now.
yes.
Yeah, and I couldn't answer the question, but I knew I said there was something about it, but
A lot of it was location and apparently the
Cost.
locations were not good enough.
Okay, thank you very much.
And if I remember correctly, you built that unit out there where the library is currently.
Correct.
And you've already paid it off.
Yes, actually, the
Yes.
mortgage was paid off through a capital campaign that the library did. So,
Super successful.
Wow,
yes,
wow, okay.
And that's a testament to the current director.
exactly.
So anybody
Exactly.
out there that heard that that's watching, now you know why. Thank you.
Zones and code enforcement, there was no hearings are scheduled for March 10th at 5:30. Little update, I got a little note in the mail from Zones, letting me know that one of my tenants didn't have their car inspected. I got a hold of my tenant, and he sent me a picture, and it was inspected that day. I sent it over to codes, and that's cleared up. So they're out there doing their thing. Borough Managers Report.
Okay, first item is our stormwater culvert across Main Street at Mark Street intersection. The way it's constructed is, it's like a U-shaped concrete channel. There's two walls and a concrete floor, and then there's concrete caps that are laid on top of that thing. And as time goes on, they were starting to rock in place. We started getting complaints about it. I checked back in my emails when I started emailing PennDOT. It was February of 2023.
Wow.
Is when we started communicating with them about that. And PennDOT came out, looked at it. They explained to me that they thought they had some ideas, what they were gonna do. They'd get back to me when they were gonna do it. Okay, cool. Time goes on, conditions getting worse. The residents living around there, it's driving them crazy with, the noise, every time a car goes over, it's boom, boom, it's vibrating their walls, knocking stuff off shelves, pictures off the walls, that kind of thing. So it finally got to the point where, I guess it was last Friday, it got to the point where we had to shut a lane of traffic down. Police called PennDOT. PennDOT came out, and when they came out and saw that it was a stormwater issue, they were like, stormwater is the borough's problem, which is correct. I just wish they would have told us that years ago.
February 2023.
So the engineer, fortunately, he was available. He got here within like 10 minutes. We had police shut down one of the lanes of traffic right away because it couldn't, the thing was moving like 2 inches. So it wasn't safe to travel over. So he was able to contact Jack Custer Excavating for some steel plates, put the steel plates over it so that we could resume traffic. And now we're trying to figure out what to do with it. The tops, there's really nothing wrong with them. There's a center expansion joint between the two cap pieces that collapsed, which you saw in the picture that I had sent. So that has to be somehow put back in place. Those tops kind of have to be lifted off, everything cleaned out underneath it, and then sealed and probably grouted in place somehow. So that's what Mike is trying to figure out now, who's gonna do that, how much it's gonna cost. The road's gonna have to be closed both directions for a while. So we have to work with PennDOT on that, because there'll have to be a detour established, because once the grout is injected in place, it has to cure. So I'm not sure how long that's gonna be either, so.
The main part of the box, that's okay.
The walls in the bottom look fine. It's just the cap that came loose, so. So of course, we talked about, replacement. You could put a box culvert in there. Mike told me today, average cost is $5,000 per foot. So whatever the width of the road is, times 5,000 is probably what the replacement cost is. Now, I'm not sure if that includes installation or if that's just the cost of the box. So, the problem is, we can't really modify what's there because, we can't go any deeper because the outlet on the north side is already not there. So, so water won't, it'll hold water in the trench if we go any deeper. Like the mayor had suggested putting pipes in, so we talked about that. PennDOT requires a foot of cover over any pipes before you get to the road surface. We don't have that, so that's not gonna be an option. So really, the only option is repair what we have, and then in the future, it'll probably have to be a box culvert put in place, so. And because we don't have the elevation there, the actual top of the box culvert will have to be the road surface. So, which is probably why it is the way it is. I asked PennDOT for any information they had on it. I was hoping they'd have some drawings, or, because we don't have any easement information here. I went through all our records. I couldn't find any easements for where that water, because the water just discharges on the northern properties. And there's like a paved or concreted channel through there. But we don't have any easements recorded for there, so I don't know how they did that. But they did give me some information that showed that it was built in 1962. So it's been there since 1962. So, the mayor also reached out to Representative Diamond's office. I've been in communication with their people. They've been kind of helping communication with PennDOT and also seeing if there's any kind of economic assistance that would help. Unfortunately, one of the only things that would help us, there's a municipal assistance grant that closes next Monday, so there's no way we're gonna get an application in for that, so. So we're just kind of in a wait-and-see mode. And the funniest thing about it was, later, about a week passed, and I got a phone call from PennDOT, and I'm like, it was from the Highway Occupancy Permit Office. Somebody, off hours, drove through here and saw steel plates on his roadway, and he wanted to make sure, he didn't know of any permit or anything, so I had to explain everything to him, and he was like, okay, it's an emergency. I said, yeah, it's an emergency. He's like, okay. So I thought that was kind of funny. He's like, why is there steel plates on my road? Your road? So that's where we're at with that.
Tax dollars do pay for it.
Yeah. So hopefully by the next meeting, have a little bit more idea what we're dealing with there.
Okay.
The 2 trucks, all the paperwork has been filed, all the orders are placed, so they're on their way. We'll just be waiting now, so.
I did check on the grant for that, and the way we did it at the meeting, we were ineligible for grants.
Okay.
Because we had to put bids out through CoStars for the different CoStars dealers and stuff to
Yeah.
be able to get grants.
Well, no, I mean, with the whole situation on Main Street, I mean, I know they're 2 loans, but, I mean, it would definitely help the taxpayers.
So I'm not sure if you
An
and
investment or,
Tom know this, but when somebody says loan,
well,
I get very, very nervous because.
I understand, but a lot of boroughs, townships, they have done this in Pennsylvania, and some of them are like 1.5%. And it really takes a lot of burden off, and it's like a 10-year payment plan or a 20-year payment plan, a lot of these. And so that takes a lot, because then having to put the burden back on the taxpayers again.
Well, the burden's on the taxpayers no matter if it's a loan or not.
Well, so
My
over 20 years.
concern is that this borough already has probably still close to $6 million in municipal bonds out there.
Yeah, I think we're down into the fives now.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
It's still a lot.
hallelujah.
Yeah.
It's still a lot of money that this borough owes. So I'm very leery about, I appreciate you looking into it. I
Yeah,
just get very leery about,
Well, all I know is
Board
that
debt.
I'm just trying to look at different directions, because the direction we're going in by just keep putting it on the taxpayers is like, I'm not like happy about. So, I mean, I know it's a loan, but it's a very low interest rate loan, but if we're smart about it for our financials, we can pay it off and then it won't really get back to the taxpayers, if that makes sense. That's what a lot of these are designed to take out the loans and spread them out over the 10-year,
but
20-year
the
period.
taxpayers are still paying the loan back.
But it wouldn't be like what they just felt in a lot of ways with having, like, oh, it's a 5,000 thing, okay. This, we could put it towards that and then kind of pay it off over those years.
But we have the money to pay for those vehicles, so I'm not
No,
sure.
I'm looking like
I
this
mean, if
for
it
the
was
road.
0%, I'd say yes.
None are gonna be zero, but I'm saying about the road on Main Street for any
Oh,
types of
yeah.
things that we can use, cause there's a lot of other areas that we can use it for. I think that we should at least, I'm not saying we
Keep it in
need
our
to
back
do it.
pocket.
I'm saying we should look into it more. It's not always a bad idea, cause you're spread out over 10 years, you're spread out over 20 years. I think one's 10, one's 20. I don't see why that would be such a bad idea for low interest rate. It helps you out when you're in need. Now, if you don't pay it and you miss your fees and you miss the dates that you gotta pay it, then yeah, you're gonna get penalized.
It's like a way to go around the capital reserve fund, use that money from the capital reserve to pay the loan off.
A lot of,
So take that big chunk out of one shot.
a lot of places
That
do it in
money that's
Pennsylvania.
been set aside to pay the loan.
Yeah.
I just get nervous with.
Well, I mean, I get nervous too.
I do
but-
appreciate it,
I-
but, even a 1.5% interest loan is,
I mean, people take out loans all the time. I took out loans for college. I mean, that's,
yeah.
we have to do that at times. And I'm just saying is that this could be a smart financial thing if we do it the right way over the 10 or 20 years, then having to be, okay, we gotta pay it. Oh, now budget season comes, we gotta raise taxes again. I think this could be a good thing long-term. You spread out over a long-term period. It's not a 5-year, it's not a 3-year. One's 10, one's a 20. I don't see how that could be bad and why it's not something that we should look into with doing Main Street, with doing some of the other projects that we need to do.
And Roger, the truck replacement's every 10, or is it 20?
They're about 20,
About 20.
yeah.
I don't think it's a bad idea. I know the word loan might scare some people, but it really shouldn't. If you're looking at it from a financial point of view and money, I think it can really be used to help us in a lot of ways, and being smart with it. Now, if you're not smart with it, it will hurt you. But, I mean, I don't think we will not be smart with it because I'll make sure we're not, and Roger and Will and Brenda. But I think it's something we need to look for, especially when we have all these projects on our roads, sometimes how they're not in the best shape and we need to fix them and things like that. This could help,
Thank you, Anthony.
Yep, that's what I'm here for.
Any other communications?
I just had one other thing. We need to have an executive session at the conclusion of the meeting to discuss a couple personnel issues that just came up this week, so it should be quick.
Okay. All right, other business, chief? Mayor?
No, good.
Counselor?
Question, is there a way we can get a detailed revenue listing like we get for the check details so we can see where everything's coming from? Is there a report in the system that we can do that?
Probably. I would think everything she's logging as revenue would be in QuickBooks.
Yeah, what do you need it for?
Like, just to follow when we're getting, what the money's coming in, where it's coming from and everything, not wanting who people are sending it in, but, what it's from, like if it's from sewer, if it's from, taxes.
Well, you're already getting that in your
Yeah.
financials.
Right, but I'm looking at something that's broken down, that we,
Well, it wouldn't be broken down any more than what's in your financial.
okay.
Are you looking for a vendor list?
No, like, we get the check detail,
Yes.
it says check number, blah, 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 blah. Like.
You're looking for an invoice coming,
like
yeah,
an
the
invoice
payments
coming
coming in.
Oh.
Taxes, line item, blah, 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 real estate tax, line item, blah, 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 real estate tax, sewer tax, you know.
But, yeah, that's already in the financials.
It's already on your, on your check,
Yeah,
because it gives you the line item and it gives you the account that they paid out of, because this is the actual
Right.
expenses, so it's showing you,
But I'm talking money, what we're bringing in.
What he's
that's,
asking for is like so we have the detailed check report going out, the detailed check report.
yeah, that's your
coming
financial
your
report.
financials.
It doesn't break down any more than that.
in. Nothing?
I just was curious, I got a question for Chief Winters. What's the latest update, and I'm sorry for being a little late, police, but what's the latest update on like other like townships or municipals that are interested in joining the force?
Being worked on.
Okay, thank you. I'm good.
Roger, Brenda? Okay. All right, public comment number 2. Please state your name and address for the record and try and limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Ryan Kelly, 132 North Chestnut Street. I came here today just to give you guys an update on previous mayor Fred Carpenter. He's been in the hospital a couple of weeks, and he's well, and, you know, he did devote a lot of his time to this borough, and I just wanted to say, you guys ask for some prayers for him. Not looking too great. You know, he's at Hershey Med for like the last couple of weeks. I live across the street from him. Last I spoke to Ann a couple of nights ago, they're looking at putting him over at the VA, I think. For like palliative care.
Yes.
Yeah.
Over at the VA. I just wanted to make you aware that he could use all the prayers that you could give him.
Thanks, Ryan. Thank you.
For letting
Thank
us
you.
know. Surprising.
Oh my God.
Anyone else for public comment? So closing public comment number 2. Announcements, Borough Council will conduct its next public meeting on Tuesday, March 11th, 2025, and Tuesday, March 25th, 2025, beginning at 7 p.m. Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Against?